Breaking news, 5 dead and countless wounded.
This protest, now being referred to as the Boston Massacre, was sparked by harsh taxes and overbearing laws.
The residents of the colonies are enraged over the unfair taxes the king has burdened on them. Now with Eugene with the update.
I'm Eugene Hayward here at the scene of the Boston Massacre. Here with me in one of the colonies who has been affected by this unfortunate tragedy. What is your name, sir?
I'm Samuel Adams.
Where were you when this event began?
I was standing outside the tea and chip shop when I heard the gunfire.
What do you think the reason is behind the revolt from the colonies?
I think it all started when the British set an extremely outrageous tax on sugar.
Could you elaborate?
The Sugar Act, which is a tax on sugar and molasses put in place by the British Parliament, is a huge hindrance to the colonists, who are already struggling to make a profitable life in the New World.
What do you think will happen next?
Unfortunately, I think things will only get worse from here on out.
That sounds stupendous. Back to you, Red.
We're back, and we're talking about the breaking news. Shots have been fired at Lexington and Concord.
Reports claim that no one knows who fired first. Paul Revere rode through the town that night, warning the American colonists that the British were coming.
We're lucky enough to get him on our show.
Hey, Paul.
Hi, I'm Paul.
Would you care to explain to us what you did on this historic night?
I would. On the evening of April 18, 1775, I was told that the British were going to march on Concord.
Wow. Interesting. How did you react to this?
Well, I'll tell you, bud. I borrowed a horse from Charleston.
Did you?
And raced to Concord.
Mm-hmm.
And arrived in Lexington at midnight.
Did you warn the colonists?
Did you?
I did indeed. And upon my arrival in Lexington, I woke up American rebels like John Hancock and such.
Interesting. I heard that later that night you were captured by the British and managed to talk to them into letting you leave.
Yes, I was. And later that evening, I even heard the first shot of the Revolutionary War.
Jeez, are you serious?
Yes.
I was so inspired by Paul's amazing story about how he rode through Concord, warning all the colonists about the British marching, that I wrote a rap that I'd like to sing on this show right now.
Wow.
Let's hear it.
Oh my gosh. Are you ready?
Let's do it.
Listen, my child, and you shall hear of the midnight ride of Paul Revere. Of the 18th of April in 75, hardly a man is now alive. Who remembers that famous day and year? Dad. He said to his friend, if the British march by land or sea, the town tonight hang a lantern aloft and the belfry arch of the North Church Tower as a signal light. 1, if by land, and 2, if by sea, and I on the opposite shore will be ready to ride and spread the alarm, Dab, through every Middlesex village and farm, for the country folk to be up into arm. Then he said good night, and with muffled oar silently rode to the Charleston shore. Here's Cooking with Brittany Pierce.
Great.
Hello, in today's cooking segment with Brittany Pierce, we'll be making tea. So the first step is you put water in the pot. Then you boil the water. Then you want to add the tea bag into the water. Then you add sugar. Then you want to scoop it. That's great. Back to you in the studio.
Thank you, Brittany. Disappointing as always. In recent news, more colonists are outraged by
A new tax on stamps. More on that after the weather.
Thank you, Red, you worthless son. Anyway, it is a brisk day today, and, well, the streets are very crowded with British troops setting up a blockade. It might just save your life to stay inside. Back to you in the studio.
The Stamp Act is a tax on stamps that the British
Parliament implemented on the colonists, this further hurting the colonists and their pursuit of happiness, with taxes like these and putting the colonists at the brink of battle.
Speaking of colonists revolting, here's Douglas McCarran with sports.
Hello there, I'm Douglas McCarran with a record-breaking day in sports history, even more historic than when the Golden State Warriors won the NBA championship. The colonists, being fed up with the British, threw 342 barrels of tea into the Boston Harbor, which is approximately 45 tons of tea. I don't know about you, but I could go for some salty tea right now. This was around a $1 million loss for the British. That's all for today. Back to the news.
You know what? That's a lot of tea.
Sure is, and we'll be right back after these messages.
I start off my day with East Indian Trading Co. tea shipped straight from the Mother England to my front door.
Do you know how much that tea costs?
Wait, what's going on? Who's talking?
England taxes colonists thousands each year for shredded leaves to put in hot water. And then you add honey and it just becomes syrup.
It's not that bad. I mean, it's gotta be worth the expensive price, right?
Interrupt me again, Timmy. See what happens. Introducing coffee. Natural, and it isn't worth a small fortune. Take a sip.
Ew, it's bitter.
Just add freaking sugar or cream in it. I don't care. Coffee, the American drink.
Hi, it's Brittany S. Pierce, and today on my segment, I will be teaching you how to make bread. First thing you'll need is noodles, salt water, and the contents of a tea bag. Then you'll heat up your oven, and then mix all your ingredients together, and then you'll pull your bread out of the oven. And there you go. I wonder what would happen if I just cut it. Wow, this is really great. They should do this more often. This is really cool. Now back to you in the studio.
Ha! That's a pretty good idea, Brittany. For a woman. Anyway, now back with the news. It seems that the battle at Lexington and Concord has sparked an open revolution.
And now to Eugene, reporting near the Delaware River.
Thanks, Red. I'm here with General George Washington, the rebels team captain, who just crossed the Delaware and staged a successful attack against Harrison mercenaries. General, how do you feel now that you've captured this strategy stronghold?
Man, listen, you can do anything if you just believe in yourself. Literally anything. Whoa! Yeah! America! Whoa!
Well, as you can see, Washington is pretty hype about his recent victories. Back to you at the studio.
Unfortunately, that is all we have for today.
But be sure to tune in tomorrow at the same time.
But for today,
Good night, America.
Right after I flick this booger, we can talk more about the redcoats. You gotta study back to see where you've been, how you got here, see where you're going. I know there are those that say you can't study back. Yes, you can. You just gotta know where to study. You don't study the American Revolution to be cool. You do it 'cause you like it.